So you may notice that there's something different with this video compared to my other videos. I feel like the answer is like pretty obvious. It's my face. Yeah, it's gotten uglier. And I'm just kidding. Oh, actually, kinda. I don't know. Maybe? It's the new light. If you haven't seen me on Twitter, like, humble bragging about it because, I mean, that's what Twitter's for, like humble bragging and complaining. That's all I do on there. Follow me if you want to. Anyway, today's video I'm going to be discussing popular, not really popular, but classic LGBTQ literature novels that I literally loathe. Like, if there's more than loathing, that's what it would be. I don't know what you would call it, but it's literally pure hatred. And it doesn't mean that these books are bad. If they're classics, they must be good for some people, or I don't know why the fuck they're classics. Like, some of these may not even be classics. They're just books that I've read in my gay literature class that just made me want to stab my eyes out with a steak knife or something like maybe sharper than that. Something that would literally blind me for life, but not to be dramatic or anything. So let's get into this video because I have things to complain about, and why not just watch me complain about things? Because what else are you gonna do? Get on Twitter and see me complain about things there too? That's all I do nowadays is complain, because it's just really fun. I love it. Maybe some of these books you wouldn't count as classics because they're just generic novels, but I read them in my gay literature class, and so I'm gonna count them as classics because we treated them like that and we analyzed the shit out of them when they probably didn't need it. So the first bitch book I have to talk about is Maurice by E.M. Foster. I don't know. I really don't care to look at the name. Here's a picture. What is there not to complain about in this book? Because in the beginning, it started off like a generic, love story, but the main character is, internally homophobic, which is so cute. He's that, and he's, trying to pursue this other guy. Well, the other guy is trying to pursue him, and he's like, no, fuck you, the gay. We cannot give up our masculinity for the gayness. We're in the probably 1920s, I think, or earlier than that. So masculinity was, really fragile back then. It still is today, but even more fragile back then. And the moment you defy that, you're not a man anymore, which is cool, I guess. So he was afraid of not being a man. Interesting. So that was the thing, and he scared off this love interest. But then when the love interest ran away, he wanted him back, and then the tables turned, and now he's like, I love being gay. Why don't you love me? Bitch, I wonder why. I don't understand. Was there a reason? Maybe why he doesn't like you anymore? I don't know what it was about this novel. It was just really boring, and I really hated all the characters because they're just problematic as fuck. I don't know, everyone is this novel is imperative to read as gay literature. If you're gay, you must read this book. Why? So, on to the next book that I'm gonna complain about, and because I have literally nothing else to do with my life. The next book I have to talk about is probably not really, I don't even know if you would count it as LGBTQ fiction, but we read it in the class, and mainly because the gay themes weren't the prominent themes, it was just kind of in the background, but I guess you can call that. This lovely trash piece of work, it is Mrs. Dalloway by Virginia Woolf. I have feelings about this book that I literally cannot express verbally. Basically, I don't know if you guys have ever done this before, but I have, and it was literally awful. You just light a candle and you let it burn, so it's really just in the wax. It's just the flame is feeding, and you know what I mean? It's just the candle has been burning for hours. There's a lot of wax in the candle, and it's liquid. So you go and you're time to extinguish the candle because fire. You go to blow it out, and it's not going out. And you're the fuck? Extinguish. So you just get forceful to the point where you're just creating ripples in the liquid wax, and then to the point where it literally shoots up at you and just gets in your eye. Has it happened to you before? Because that's how the book made me feel. Is I would honestly rather blow into a candle and wax shoot up into my eyes than read that again. And that's how it felt like reading it, was just wax, hot wax in your eye. This novel is written in a stream of consciousness narrative, which is cool and all. But when you talk about things and then you just go on, and then this thing leads to the next thing, and it leads to the next thing, and you're just, I've lost you already. Why? Where are we going? Because why did we mention the bed in the beginning and now we're at a dog? Because these characters, oh my god, they're, It felt like a character study that I felt illiterate reading it. Maybe I am. Maybe I'm just really dense and illiterate and I just don't get it. But the thing is, like, I've read Virginia Woolf's, like, feminist essay. That was good. I don't know what happened here. But speaking of this book, if you didn't think things could get any worse, it could. It really could. And I was not expecting this, but like, here we go again with the candle in my eye. There's this book called The Hours by Michael Cunningham. Apparently Michael Cunningham loves Mrs. Dalloway. He read it in high school and was like, oh my god, I just love this book. And the meaning is just everything. And like, in reaction to him loving Miss Dalloway, which he wrote a whole book centering around Virginia Woolf, another replica of Miss Dalloway. And then random bitch, I forgot her name. It doesn't matter because it really didn't. So basically it's written the exact same way. Like, senseless narrative that like, it's honestly like, if you're like an ADHD reader like I am, when you're reading the book and then you kind of zone out, like you'll read a paragraph and then like, you're still reading the words, but you're not like comprehending it because you're just zoning out and thinking about everything else. That's basically what the novel is, but like in text form. Like, I'm pretty sure either Virginia Woolf or Michael Cunningham just smoked a lot of crack beforehand or just did some meth and was tweaking out while writing it because it just went on and on and on and on. What's the point of this book? Like, why do we have to revisit that? Like, I thought things could get worse after Mrs. Dalloway, but it did. And like, it just came back and haunted me. I didn't want to revisit that. I thought it was done after reading that, but no. They made a movie out of it. Like, sorry. On to the next book that I hate. You probably have heard, the book title is different than the movie, but if you're gay, I feel like you have to know this movie. It's this sapphic movie, it's about a lesbian love story, like a getaway, but the book is called The Price of Salt. I've been annoyed by main characters, but like, I've never been this annoyed. It's just because she's young and naive, but like, it's basically romanticizing this relationship. She's latching on to her boyfriend, even though she's clearly not in love with him, but she keeps him by her side and like manipulates him and makes him feel awful, even though she doesn't like him. And like, but she keeps him there because she has no support system, which is whatever. And so she like meets Carol, who's like twice her age, and she immediately falls in love with her. Well, love. And it's romanticizing this like infatuation. And maybe that's the point of the book, but when my class was reading it, they're like, oh, they were in love. And I'm like, clearly, if someone can like go from like loving them to like hating them immediately because of a choice that they made later on in the book, that's not love. Like, the hell? What do I know about love, honestly? I want to like this book. I want to like it, but like the fact that we like sat in class and we picked it apart and just try to like make it fit like that she loved her. Here's this next one. I wouldn't say it's a classic because it came out in 2015, but it's still kind of well known, I guess. I don't know. It's called The Argonauts by Maggie Nelson, and it is a dissertation about her and her partner who's transgender and her life growing up as a mother. Cool. First of all, there's already an issue. You're gonna tell a narrative about a transgender person when you're not that transgender person. You're just telling their story because they told you about it. That's my first issue, like why? Two, it literally reminded me of Mrs. Dalloway. She would just write senseless stuff. She would make good points, but like, I don't know how we even got there in the first place, because we were once talking about how your partner is starting to transition, and then all of a sudden you're talking about like being on the bus. Literally, there's a point in the book where she's like, if you didn't know, having a baby is like shitting. I want to know why it was necessary for you to tell us that, because I could have gone my entire life without knowing that. Apparently that's a thing. Do yourself a favor and not read this book. First, it's already problematic because you're not the transgender person whose life it's about, and you wrote it because apparently you know all about it because you're dating them. And we have to take a final on it, and I'm like, I really just don't want to think about these books anymore, and I had to write a whole ass paper on The Price of Salt. I couldn't find any book that like I liked, but this one was the closest one that I like had any type of opinion on, because the rest of them I was just like, I couldn't get past how problematic they were, and all the characters made me want to literally, I probably look and sound insane, but I took this class thinking that I would enjoy these books, because I was like, I haven't read that many gay books, and I'm gay, like what am I doing with my life? And then I get in there and I'm like, apparently I was doing way better before than I am now, because I am ruined after reading these books. Like, why did I waste my life reading that? Stop making your gay character so problematic. So I hope you guys enjoyed me ranting about literally fictional characters and make-believe in a class that I had to take anyway. Like, I'm gonna complain about school like all the time. Like, don't read these books. But you know what? I'm good. I'm glad that we're here, and I know the difference between good and trash gay fiction. So, points for me, I guess. Yeah. Honestly, like, filming like this is very weird. I hope you like my plain ass walls. I'm a wreck. I'm a mess. I'm a mess. I guess I'll see you guys next time. I don't know what the hell I'm gonna film next, but I guess I'll think of something. But hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I'll see you next time. Bye.